Using the template editor in LabC, click on Management, click on Template Builder. To add a new template, click on Add New Template. You can enter the test name, test code, technology, along with comments and notes, the referral amount, the report header, that is the header that will come on top of the report when it is printed, what test group does it belong to, a referral amount which can be given to doctors who refer this test, as well as a rate type and a rate. You can define multiple rate types, including normal rate list as well as insurance, healthcare, or some discounted rate lists. Apart from this, you can also define what samples need to be collected during sample collection for this test. For example, you need to collect blood or serum, and what quantity. Once the major parameters of the test are defined, then you can actually go out building the template. You can enter the table width, how many rows and columns are required. Make sure that you think about how many rows are required, defining the same on a Word or Excel sheet first. Every time you need to include a blank space or a blank row in between, include it as a single row and leave it blank. Automatically the column widths are divided into 3. Usually test reports have 3 columns: the labels or the parameters, the result, and the normal range. Once done, it shows a block or a grid format. Simply enter the values as shown. Here in the first column we are entering all our labels, that is parameters for which the testing is done. Next is the result column. Here we will define each result with a name. This is useful in making formulas or while sending SMSs, as these values are then automatically picked up. Last, we define a normal range. This normal range is not used to define the limits of the parameter, but simply to show the normal ranges to the person in the report. As you can see, when we want 2 rows of normal ranges, we are using the next row to define it. Once all the values are entered, we can then define the formulas and other details. Apart from defining the template, in the newer versions of LabC, you will also find that you can define an SMS template for each report template, using the values under result or using the labels under result to actually define the values and allowing them to be picked up automatically. Once you have finished entering all the values with the blank spaces in between, we can see a preview and see how much has been done. You can also add multiple tables, one below the other, which will come as different grids in the printout. You can also assign formulas. For example, let's say that we want the MCV value to be calculated from the above 3 values. We pick the label under result that defines where this calculation is to be done, that is MCV underscore text, and we simply write a formula using the star for multiplication, backslash for division, plus and minus for addition and subtraction, and brackets. This is simply like using an Excel sheet to make formulas, where instead of the cell number defining where the value has to be picked out, we are defining it using the labels used. Let's look at it up close and personal. For example, the MCH value, which has to be displayed in the cell marked as MCH underscore text, is equal to HB underscore text into 10, and we would wish it that it is divided by the RBC count. In this way, whenever we fill the first 2 values of HB text and RBC text, automatically MCH underscore text will be entered. It is very easy to build such formulas using the template editor. Let's do a preview and see what this looks like. The top part of the template looks like the normal template. The bottom part will look like the grid that we just now see. However, as you can see right now, they are all as labels. What we need to go and change them. There is a green plus sign next to each parameter which is entered. Simply click on it to maximize it. For each parameter, you can go and go and enter different parameters and values. For example, you can enter the type, whether it's a label, text box, text area, drop down. What is the default value for each in case you need it to be defined? Is there any validation on any of these fields? For example, a validation whether it's numeric, only alphanumeric, only numeric characters, etc. Also, the limit is to be defined. The limit is the actual normal range which the parameter will do to show whether it is within range or not. Hence, the normal range displayed on the right column is different from can be different from the limit defined over here. Apart from that, we can also define certain formats of whether it has to be bold, underline, italic, etc. The alignment can also be defined from here. So hence, for each field you can define multiple things. Now let's check the limit factor. We have entered a limit of 76 to 96 for the MCH value. Let's test this. After you enter all your values, go to preview, and as you can see, we enter MC value of 60, it shows it as below limit. Of 79, it shows as within limit, hence is not bold, and in this way the limit system works. As defined, the limit which is mentioned inside the parameter is what is valid. What is mentioned in the normal range is only for view. Once you are done, you can click on save. In this way, your new parameter is created and saved. Let's create a test report to see how it looks like. We'll add a patient for an example. Once you add the schedule, select the test required. Automatically you will see that the concerned amount appears in a bill at the bottom. Once we are done with this, you can go to the sample collection, collect the samples as defined, and then once after that we go directly to the parameter. As you can see, already EDTA blood and serum have to be collected or have been collected. Then we look at the template. It looks exactly like we built it. You can enter the results, and as you can see, the calculations are happening automatically for the last three parameters as defined, as well as the reference ranges are showing in bold whenever it is outside the range. You can then enter comments, the notes, and the technology. If they are already predefined, they will automatically show over here. Once done, you simply select which doctor requires to sign it, and you can print the report. In this way, a new template has been created, added to the system, and used to create a report within minutes. This gives the software a lot of flexibility, and you do not need to come back to us to create new reports time and again. Even the printout looks like it has been professionally designed. In case you need to update a template, click on Template Builder, click on View Template. It will show you a list of all the templates added. Simply click on Update, and it will show you a predefined template which has already been used or created. Over here now you can sit and update this template as required. One thing to remember is that the system has a memory, which means that any old tests done with the old templates will be shown using that template. And each time you create or update a new one, a newer version is created, which will be used for tests selected henceforth. In this way, it maintains integrity of the data used earlier too. In this way, a template editor can be used in LabC to make and update new and old templates. As you can see, the changes have been reflected automatically in by the template editor.